We're ready for our next dream. Are we ready here? We're rolling. Here's Debbie.
All right. Okay, I dreamt I was at my ex-husband's house. His kitchen counter area had a beautiful water fountain, but his kitchen sink didn't have any faucets. I suggested that he put the water element in the foyer. I'm assuming I was still in the kitchen. I looked up at the window and there was a row of monkeys going across side to side. The monkeys were on a string like the barrel of monkeys. But when people weren't looking, they would go across the window and they would hide behind the woodwork. There was a group of people talking in a different room, and what they were talking about was funny to me. I made a comment about using half their brain, and my ex-husband said to me, that wasn't nice because he had brain surgery. And he had lost half of his brain. And I told him he was doing very well, considering he'd had something like that. I know. It's not an ex-husband joke, I promise.
Okay. And try to remember this dream and talk it back with a straight face. Now
Yes,
that's
right.
the whole other issue.
Yes.
I have no idea if that'll happen. Okay, so you're at your ex-husband's house and
Yes.
you're in the kitchen and he has this beautiful water fountain that's on the countertop next to like where the sink would be.
Right.
And it's really nice. And then you notice that the sink is there, but there's no water faucet. There's
Right.
no way for any water. And you suggested, why don't you take that fountain and put it maybe towards the front foyer or near the front door where it'd be prettier,
Yes.
more decorative. And there is, you're thinking you're in the same room, but there's this big window.
Yes.
And there's all these monkeys like on a string, like the monkeys in a barrel that are kind of strung across. And when people aren't looking, they go and they hide behind the woodwork.
Yes.
That are over there, and that's kind of interesting.
Yes.
And then you're hearing, because there's other people that are there, and they're having this conversation in the other room, and you're overhearing the conversation, and you find it very funny, and so you kind of make this comment about people only having half a brain.
Right.
And your ex-husband says, well, that's not very nice. I had surgery. I only have half a brain.
Yeah.
And you make the comment, well, you're doing surprisingly well for only having half a brain.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. There you go.
Have fun with this one. We'll see you. No. Okay. They're always fun. Now, be careful. Sometimes the emotions will help you interpret the dream, but sometimes the emotions will take you a place that you don't want to go. So as you take a break right now, go ahead and pause your video, come up with your title, come up with your focus, your sub-focuses, your details. Write out an interpretation. When you're ready, come back and we'll see if we're able to get up off the floor and tell you what this dream might mean. So we'll see you in a minute. Just got a little context that may help. So one of the things that will sometimes help with dream interpretation is that if you ask the dreamer some questions that are about this. And so in talking with the dreamer, the context is this, that the week she had this dream, it had been a really rough week of ministry. She does a lot of ministry, especially inner healing and walking people through issues. And that the house, even though in the dream it was her ex-husband's house, it does not look like his house or a house that he's had. And so it was a different looking house than the house that he actually has. So that might give you a couple clues. I'm gonna let you probably already got an interpretation by now, but if you want to, you can pause the video. We're gonna pause here and go back and talk about it a little bit more. We'll see you in a few minutes. Are we ready? Okay. Let's walk through this one. I hope you got a laugh out of this. It's so much fun. Always good to smile, and sometimes that is not just the meaning of this dream, but that was part of the reason why God gave this type of dream to this dreamer so that they would laugh in the midst of that situation. But let's walk through this and figure out what parts of this means, because it can also be very complicated, because we put things on dreams sometimes that cause us to look in a particular direction. And one of the things, and I'm not trying to make a direct comparison, but one of the things that people that do some forms of magic, it's sleight of hand. They get you to look one direction when everything's actually happening over here. And that's one of the keys, is learning how to keep your focus open so that you're seeing everything and you're not just looking in one place, because it'll make it easier for you to get the interpretation. And the reality is that that's actually what I'd done when I first heard the dream. I was thinking in one particular direction until I interacted with the dreamer and I got that piece, and it opened me up so that I was looking in another direction and unlocked the dream for me. So pay attention to that, because sometimes that'll really be a key that will help. But let's diagram out this dream. What did we get for a title?
Either no more monkey business or stop monkeying around.
Okay.
We got monkey brains.
Monkey brains. I got to do that one just because that's funny enough to go with this dream. That's awesome. And it's short, which you guys, you know, I like short titles.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Monkey brains. All right. Now, who or what is the focus of this dream? Dreamer, right. And what are our sub-focuses? And let's just kind of walk through from the beginning to the end, because I know there's a lot of them, so we'll start at the beginning and just kind of walk through. Well, not a lot, 3 or 4.
The water.
The water. And we'll have a couple details off of that. What's our next sub-focus?
The ex-husband.
Windows.
So
The
so
faucet.
the ex-husband or the ex-husband's house. Well, let's do this real quick off of the water. So we had the fountain,
And
then
the
we
faucet.
had the sink. And I'm going to put a line through just to say that there was no water. Just, it's an easy way of saying that. This is a detail. And then I'm going to put an arrow off of this fountain to remind us. She's suggesting, well, why don't you put it by the door? Okay. Now, what was the next piece? That she sees, yes, she sees the monkeys, right?
Would you call this as a focus though?
The monkeys, because if you take that scene out, you completely lose that scene, and the monkeys are the only place. You would either do the window or the monkeys as the sub-focus, but there's more action with the monkeys. So I'm going to do the monkeys as a sub-focus and do the window as a detail. That's a detail. Is there another detail on this?
Something to do with
Hiding.
woodwork or something.
Yeah, and the woodwork. And we'll just remember that they would hide in the woodwork. So when anybody else was looking at the window, they didn't see the monkeys. But when they stopped looking, she could see the monkeys playing around. They just come out of the woodwork, and they were like the barrel full of monkeys. Just kept on coming and kept on coming, and you get that feel. Now thinking of this, the context of a dreamer that ministers an inner healing. Right? This begins to give you a picture.
Yes.
Okay? So, then what's our next piece?
The people, the voices that she's hearing.
Yeah, the people. The people in the other room. So the conversation. And I'm going to put quotes around them because it's really about the conversation and what they're saying than it is about the people themselves. She's more hearing them than necessarily seeing them. And then do we have off of here?
Then it made her laugh.
Half a brain.
Half a brain. And I'm going to put quotes again because she made the comment. She goes, it's funny, people with half a brain. And then what was the next piece?
It offended the
ex-husband.
So the ex, ex offense, is that how you spell offense, or is that supposed to have an S? It is an S.
That's right.
Offense, offense, offense. I'm really not this bad at spelling. It's just when I'm in front of a camera, I promise. All right, we'll make it a C. Need to read more. Okay, and then what? One more piece maybe that's important here?
Yeah, then she said you still did good with half a brain.
Yeah, so let's do,
Surgery.
Surgery and then.
that's a detail. And we'll just put okay. It's like, well, you're doing pretty good for having. Now, the whole context is the ex-husband's house, but it's not the ex-husband's house, right? All right. So, ex-husband, literal or symbolic?
Symbolic.
Symbolic. The ex-husband is symbolic. Something from the past, right? Situations, broken relationships. It's talking about that situation. So we go to the kitchen. Now, kitchen could be a place of fellowship or a place of learning, right? Where the spiritual food is. There's no necessarily fellowship that's going on, so there's a learning about what's going on. Water. What does water represent?
The spirit.
The spirit, right? Now, there's a fountain. What does a fountain do with water?
Recycles.
It recycles it, but
Shows
it's pretty, it's decorative, it's
Displays
not
it.
useful. Right? But there's no water in the sink.
Right.
So it's talking about a spirituality that's just there for show, but that's not accomplishing anything. But there's not the ability to really wash or deal with spiritual issues in a deep way. Okay? And the representing that take that out of the kitchen. Don't make that about your inner life. Make it your outer life. Right? Take the things of the spirit. Don't hide it in the inner life. Make it about the outer life. Now, the window. Window, when you're looking through a window, what does that usually represent?
Revelation.
Revelation. You're getting some type of vision. You're getting some type of revelation. So looking through the window, and nobody else sees this, but she sees this. What could a monkey represent, or monkeys represent?
Spirit.
A spirit,
Something is mocking.
a mockery, or an addiction, right? And usually the monkey on the back would be the addiction, but this type of situation is the mockery. So, what's that?
Nonsense.
Nonsense. Right, just playful, but almost spiteful. Right? It's not a good thing. But it's just coming out of the woodwork.
Yes.
That when there's real revelation, that the issues are just coming out of the woodwork. And other people may not see them, but she has the ability to see these issues.
And she said they were all strung together.
They're all strung together like the
Like a
barrel
chain.
full of monkeys. And that barrel full of monkeys, part of that is they just keep on coming, and they keep on coming, they keep on coming. It looks like there's just a little, and then there's more, there's more, there's more. Yes. So that feeling of that, just how much is there to deal with? How can they not see this? It's right there. All right, and then the people talking. Listening to people's conversations, hearing what people are saying, and realizing that what they're saying, it's not out of wisdom.
More nonsense.
Right? It's nonsense. It's half brain. It's not. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to the dreamer, but to somebody that has gone through what they've gone through, it makes sense. They're actually doing pretty good for what they've actually gone through. Right? So you have this whole perspective thing that's bringing healing and that's resolving all these issues that have been coming up through the week. And one of the things that happens, you have healing dreams that happen in multiple different ways. And this is almost like a healing dream or a processing dream for the dreamer. That the stuff that they'd been dealing with in all that ministry, had been a week of intense ministry, God was just bringing up in a really fun way to say what you're dealing with is helping people to realize that their spirituality has to be placed rightly, that it's supposed to accomplish something. It's not just for show. And that there's a lot of issues, but they don't see those issues. But you're going to have the revelation to reveal those issues and draw them out into the open. But you have to realize that people are doing the things that they're doing and saying the things that they're saying because of the issues that they've gone through. So be careful how you think about those issues. Does that make sense? A fun dream. I mean, hilarious when you hear it, right? But so powerful and so needed for the dreamer in the moment that they're in. Any questions on that one?
No, but that's a good word, because sometimes we can be, well-meaning and lovingly sarcastic, or maybe even seemingly dismissive, but because we're not in that position or that experience, but I think it's a dream to call to compassion. I mean, and it's well-meaning, and there was laughter involved, but there is a profundity regarding. But you know what? Somebody who's gone through it really knows what it's like.
Yeah. That's good.
So how does the window representing the revelation tie into this?
Yeah. So because it's the revelation that's going to reveal. It's revelation that's going to, by looking through revelation or by revelation, that she's going to be able to see the issues that are underneath the surface, that are hidden in the woodwork, basically, that other people can't see them, but she can because she's paying attention to revelation. Yeah.
I thought the ex-husband on a maybe deep, seer level was represented covenants, old covenants, an ex-husband, an old covenant. And so the people that are coming out of these old covenants, then the monkey's coming out of the woodwork, it's being revealed to her what, all of the issues are. And then that we might have it was like a cleansing, healing, and then an instructive at the end, because she was laughing at the people's ridiculousness and all the nonsense going on. But then when he said that to her, hey, well, I just had surgery and lost half my brain, or whatever he said, then she called her back to the minister that she is, and she gave an encouraging word. Hey, you're doing really good for what you've just been through. And so we see all these things, but it's not for entertainment's sake. It's not to just know. Revelation is not just to know. It's because God's given us a directive, and for her in particular, when these people are coming out of these old covenants and old mindsets, then she can show them where they've been, where they are, where they're going, and encourage them that they're getting there.
Right. Yeah, and it's just such a beautiful picture in so many different ways, because we all have issues that we're dealing with in different ways, and when we begin to understand where people are coming from, it really changes how we interact with them. And there's a lot of different ways to deal with some of these issues, and I know this is a side note, but someone that deals with hard issues, that begins to see the things that are underneath, is such an important and such an essential ministry. And I just know that there's some of you that are out there that kind of almost relate with maybe the ex-husband. You don't understand what I've been through. It's like, you're looking at this and you have this thought, but if you'd seen what I've gone through, And let me give you this encouragement that you can have real healing. That there's real power in the cross of Jesus Christ to bring real transformation and real healing. And if you seek out healing, you will find it.
Yeah.
You may have to seek, but if you seek, you will find. If you knock, the door will be open. If you keep on asking, you will get what you've been asking for. And so I just encourage you to go after that. And we've just at Streams, we've had a close connection with Elijah House Ministries, and I know Debbie's been trained with Elijah House, and that's part of the ministry that she does. Elijah House has some amazing principles that really helps to teach us how to take those things that are from our past, the old vows, the old covenants, and take them to the cross so there can be real change and so there can be real healing. And if you're in that place where you need some help, find that help. And whether it's Elijah House or whether it's one of the other great inner healing ministries that are out there, look for it and get it, because there is real change that's possible. Believe me, I know. So, encourage you with that. Any other questions on this dream, Donna?
I just had a thought too for Debbie, right?
Yes.
Is the monkeys, the window coming out of the woodwork, is that the monkeys being connected, is that the way that the ex-husband responded and how you responded back, connected to all that was that the deeper discernment is coming of connecting issues with the oppressive spirits, being able to connect those in a way that brings revelation. You're getting the revelation, but it's going to bring revelation to those that are being healed. They're going to see the light through that window of revelation that she has, the connection, because a lot of people come and I don't know why I'm doing this. And that's part of what she does.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Yay, so good. So hey, I wanted to close this Dream Lab with doing something that was suggested to me earlier, that I should pray for you guys and for everybody here for an impartation to be able to interpret dreams. Because dream interpretation, I mean, there's skill that's involved, and we have a lot of resources to help you grow in that skill, but you're not going to get the right interpretation without revelation, and there's something about an impartation that happens. And so I just encourage you, I know you're watching a video, but just expect God to do something, because he can move. He can move through time. I mean, you may be watching this 10 years from now, and he can still move and something happens. So let your faith expect something to come from heaven. But I just want to release right now that whatever the Lord has put upon Streams Ministries, when it comes to understanding dreams and visions, being able to know the voice of God and recognize the riddles of heaven, being able to unravel mysteries and to untie enigmas so that understanding can come, I release that and I impart that to the extent that you're able to receive right now. And I just speak over you dreams, visions, encounters, release from heaven. Know the voice of your Father. Hear him speaking in you, through you, and to you. And respond to that voice and see the fruit of abiding in the vine come forth in your life as you stay close to his heart. In Jesus' name. Bless you. We'll see you next time on the lab.